Please start. Yes.
Starting with the name of Allah Almighty, who is the most beneficent and the most merciful. Assalamualaikum. I am to present the topic of my presentation is poetics. My friends Tessin Zara and Jack Zara also complete that topic, and the part of my presentation is the middle part, sixth part of poetics. So, poetics. Firstly, I'll finish the concept about Aristotle, which is the book. Poetics were written by basically Aristotle's student, but the name was given is Aristotle. So, Aristotle was an ancient Greek philosopher, and it was a student of Plato. And that book was written in 335 BCE. Basically, the poetics books was written by Aristotle student. Means when Aristotle has many philosophical thoughts on many things. He mostly worked on politics, but he also wrote tragedy, comedies, and epics, also poetry. That's why he wrote the poetics. But the poetics is the answer to the Plato reviews on poetry. Because according to Plato, poetry is a culprit, poetry is a corrupt, poetry is a suspect and misleading concept. That the poetry arises the wrong emotions in human being. In that case, the Plato Aristotle answered the Plato's argument because the Plato met Socrates, and after he met with Socrates, that's why he got all of his poetry, tragedies, comedies. On that point, the Aristotle wrote the book Poetics. So the Poetics was basically divided into 26 chapters, 46 pages, and 6 parts. The first 5 chapters consist on introductory remarks on poetry and its classification. 6 to 19 chapter consist on tragedy, and 20 to 22 consist on poetic diction. 23rd chapter consists of narrative poetry and tragedy, and 24 and 26 chapter consist on epic piece compared with tragedy, and last 25 chapter consist on objection which are answered. The whole book poetry was divided into 46 pages and on 26 chapters. So I already told you why is Aristotle poetics important and how are poetics written, in which condition, on which basis. So the poetic is the first detailed study, storytelling and drama, and this the Aristotle says the what type of tragedy written in literature, what type of comedy written in literature. In overall, he told us about the literature compared to with as the quality, what type of quality or quantity produced literature. In this poetics, in this Aristotle write poetics, tragedy, comedies, and basically the poetry divided into three main parts, which I further discuss. The first part is object, second is medium, and third is mode. Next. I forgot to explain the example why poetry is important. For example, the tragedy Oedipus Rex. In Oedipus Rex, the tragic hero flow for the tragic hero Oedipus Rex, which he has a quest to identify the truth. That's why his flow lead to his downfall. And then next. Sixth part of poetry, which is basically my presentation topic. The poetics divided into six main parts: imitation, poetry, tragedy, catharsis, tragic hero, and hamartia. Next, imitation. Imitation is a natural to human beings from childhood, and it is through imitation that they learn their earliest lesson. And no less universal is the pleasure felt in things imitated. Means the first main part of poetics is imitation. The Aristotle says that the poetry is a imitation, means the copy of anything. The word is also a imitation. According to Aristotle, human has tendency to understand the concept earliest because of imitation, and that's why imitation process is very good because the child learned from his elders, and that's why he copies the that things which his elder do. And the imitation was divided into two further parts. Imitation as a representation means it's involve events, it's involve character, plot, and also feel, pity, and feel emotions in audience. And the imitation as a natural instinct, humans are born with an innate instinct. That's why imitation as a natural instinct. Next, next is poetry. I already told you about that the poetry is an art of imitation, expressing universal truth through rhythm, language, and harmony, either finely or combined, in a manner that evokes pleasure or catharsis. Poetry is the most important concept in poetics books, Aristotle. Means in this the poetry divided, which I already told that the poetry divided into three main parts, like the medium, object, and mode. Medium is how the object imitate, means what kind of sentence is used and what type of musical instrument is used in this. I'll give you an example of this, that painting. Painting. The painter uses a color to draw its painting. So the color is a medium. And the next is the poetry. So poetry is made up of three main ingredients like that, like rhythm, language, and melody. These are the three main important elements of poetry. And we can say that the language is the medium of the poetry. And the second is object. The object which is used to and mediate in the work of an art, means the what kind of plot is used and what type of character, means the character should be morally good, morally bad, and means the character had a flaw which gives the reason of his leading downfall. And the third one is mode. Mode is used like the way in which an art imitate, in which an object imitate, means the what type of spectacle is used at what conditions the character visually represent. So that's right. The next is the poetry purpose, genre, and element. The purpose of poetry is to entertain, teach, and evoke emotions in the last. Means the Oedipus Rex tragedy. At the last, when the truth is aware to all audience, the audience feels the pity and fear emotions. The genre, there are three important genres of poetry: tragedy, comedy, and epic. Because in some of tragedies there are feeling emotions of like sad emotions. In comedy there are the happiest emotions, and epic, which is a long narrative poem in which the heroes, adventures, and historical context were discussed. And the elements include in poetry like the main elements: plot, character, emotional impact. And it reflects beyond the human life, learn and feel deeply into the play. Next, tragedy. Tragedy, there is an imitation of an action that is serious, complete, and of a certain magnitude. Language embellished with each kind of artistic ornament. The several kinds being found in separate parts of the play, in the form of action, not of narrative, through pity and fear, effecting the proper purgation of these emotions. Means the tragedy, the second main element of the poetics book. In this, we discuss the serious actions. In this, the tragedy evoked the pity and fear emotions in the audience, which is the best tragedy, which called as the best tragedy, in which the pity and fear emotions evoke, in which we use the embellished language. It is superior than comedy. And also, basically, tragedy was divided into two basic parts, like serious tragedy and the normal tragedy. The Oedipus flytrap, the serious tragedy, means in the end, when the truth was aware to the audience, the Oedipus Rex lead to his downfall because he has a quest to uncover the truth. That's why it's a serious tragedy. At the end, he biting his eyes and he shutting his eyes and pulled his legs on the stage. Next. Means the plot should be a great beginning, middle, and end. The best plot is that in which the complexity element add. Means the character should be not morally good, not morally bad. It's a normal. In this character, he has a flaws in his character. Means there is the concept of reversal and recognition in the plot. Means reversal. In reversal, which is also called the pivotia, it is the unexpected turn which is happening suddenly in the story, which he was unaware of it. At the recognition, the things the things which are suddenly appear, the truth we are unknown of it. Means the truth we don't know, the things we don't know, and suddenly the knowledge aware and the audience suddenly aware the knowledge of it. That's why it's called the recognition. According to Aristotle, the best plot is this, where the reverse recognition occur at the same time. The good plot is that. Next, character. The mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual means the character is the most important expressive element of tragedy. The character, there are four characteristics of a character. Means the character should be a noble and has a noble qualities, appropriate. He should be must be involved into his character. True to life, the action which he was performed related to his life, and the audience feels emotions, and the audience feels that it's a real thing. Consistent. The character should be belong to real, never show that he was perform acting like that. Next, diction. Diction in tragedy refers to the deliberate choice of words that convey deep emotions, evoke pity or fear, and reflect the seriousness of the situation. Means the diction is the choice of words, and the way we are to gather the sentences is called a diction. The diction should be well structured. The diction language should be proper, genre, and situation. For example, language is formal and serious. In Oedipus says the language is formal and serious, and at the end the scene was when the truth is aware, the scene was more intense and emotional. Next, thought. In the context of tragedy, thought refers to the ideas or reasoning that underlie a character's speech and action. Means what the speaker thinks, what the speaker tries. He also involved. They also things involved in the term of thought. For example, in Oedipus test the themes was fate, free, will, self-awareness, human fortitude. They all themes involved in the play Oedipus text. Next. Melody is a sequence of musical notes that are arranged in a pleasing and harmonious way, creating the main theme of a song or piece of a music. Melody is a musical instrument in the play, in a tragedy, and it gives the evoke the emotions of pity and fear to the audience, and it is the most important element in a tragedy. Like a choice in the songs feeling sorrow and sad, means Independence tells the choice in the song which makes the audience sorrowful and